So Elon Musk is at it again, making noise about something that could be a big deal globally. He's saying Betelgeuse, a really bright star, might blow up in like 2 weeks. And he thinks the blast could mess things up closer to home, like in New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey. Scientists have been watching Betelgeuse for ages, but Musk's short timeline has people scratching their heads. Could this thing really change everything? What does Musk know that we don't? Are we about to see a star explode in a couple of weeks? Musk definitely knows how to grab attention. This time, he's got everyone chattering about a star exploding and maybe messing with the East Coast. Betelgeuse is a huge red star that scientists have been watching. Musk says it's about to go supernova, and people are wondering what that could mean for us. Betelgeuse is easy to spot. It's super bright. If you've looked at the Orion group of stars, it's that reddish star that makes up the Hunter's shoulder. But don't let its look fool you. It's massive, like 700 times bigger than our sun. Musk and some others think it's about to put on a light show like nothing we've ever seen. A supernova. Musk's not totally pulling this out of nowhere. Scientists have been talking about Betelgeuse being unstable for a while. It's been acting weird, dimming and brightening in ways that have caught their eye. Back in 2019 and early 2020, it got noticeably dimmer, even for people just looking up at the sky. That got people excited, wondering if the star was about to die. Given how big and old Betelgeuse is, it seemed possible. But even though scientists have been watching, nobody saw this 2-week timeline coming until Musk said something. He seems to think Betelgeuse will pop soon, turning one of science's big mysteries into a countdown. He's got some backup, too. Physicist Michio Kaku has talked about Betelgeuse maybe being near the end. But Kaku is playing it safer, saying while an explosion could happen, he doesn't expect it to hit Earth directly. Musk, on the other hand, is warning about possible trouble. So what happens when a star goes boom? Basically, a supernova is how a huge star kicks the bucket. When a star like Betelgeuse runs out of gas, it can't hold itself up against its own gravity, and it caves in. That sets off an explosion so powerful it can briefly be brighter than whole groups of stars. When Betelgeuse finally blows, it could shine as bright as the full moon, maybe even be visible during the day. Pretty wild, right? But Musk is saying things could get dicey. He's suggesting the explosion could hit Earth directly, maybe with bad results. He thinks radiation and cosmic rays like supercharged energy could travel through space and mess with our atmosphere, scrambling satellites, taking out power grids, and maybe even making people sick with too much radiation. It sounds like a movie plot, but it's worth remembering that Betelgeuse is about 640 years of light away. That's why most scientists don't think it's a direct danger to us. Still, it's got people talking, especially with Musk sounding the alarm. Why does Betelgeuse matter so much? It's in the Orion group of stars, which has been part of stories and myths for ages. It's bright and big, so it's easy to see at night. For scientists, it's great to study, giving clues about how stars live and die. Unlike our sun, which will burn quietly for billions of years, Betelgeuse is like a time bomb. Huge stars like Betelgeuse live fast and die young, and it's nearing the end, ready to collapse. The question has always been when. In 2019, things got weird. Betelgeuse, usually bright, started getting dim, really dim. People could see it going down without even using equipment, and scientists were confused. Was this a sign it was about to go supernova? People talked about it a lot until the star started getting brighter again in 2020. Some scientists think these ups and downs are just normal for the star, while others think it means the end is closer than we thought. It's tough to say when a star will blow up. These things are rarely on a schedule. Betelgeuse could explode tomorrow, or it could keep going for another 100,000 years. But Musk's recent comments suggest something has shifted, maybe new info, or observations we don't know about. Musk seems sure this isn't just another random flicker, but a sign we're about to see something huge. So what can we expect in the next couple of weeks if Musk is right? Well, Betelgeuse might keep dimming and brightening like crazy as it gets ready to pop. If Musk is right, we could see the explosion soon. If Betelgeuse does go supernova, it will be visible at night for weeks, maybe months, becoming one of the brightest things in the sky, maybe brighter than the moon. It would be amazing to see, but it could also cause some trouble. When a supernova happens, it doesn't just send out light, it sends out a lot of radiation too. Some of that radiation could reach Earth, and while it's not likely to cause total disaster, it's not impossible. Gamma rays are especially worrying because they're super high energy and can scramble our atmosphere and magnetic field. That could mess with satellites, GPS, and even power grids. A big surge of gamma rays could knock out some of our tech for a while. Musk's talk about the explosion destroying parts of New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey is more dramatic than what most scientists expect. But his words have gotten people interested. Even with all the drama, most scientists think Betelgeuse's explosion will be cool to watch and not a direct danger to Earth. It's far enough away that most of the radiation will weaken before it gets here. Still, the explosion could mess with our tech and maybe more importantly, teach us a lot about the universe. Seeing a star go supernova in real time would be new for us and would give scientists tons of things to study. We could learn new things about how stars live and die. As we get closer to when Musk thinks Betelgeuse will explode, all the telescopes will be pointed at it. Scientists are trying to get as much info as they can, not just to see if Musk is right, but to figure out what's happening with Betelgeuse. This event could help us study how a supernova works and help scientists improve their models of how stars change. The explosion of Betelgeuse could also help us understand how supernovas help make stuff and give birth to new stars. So, what might Betelgeuse's explosion mean for us? First, it's important to know that Betelgeuse is about 640 light-years away. While that seems crazy far in the universe, it's not super close, especially when you're talking about something as powerful as a supernova. Most scientists think we're far enough away to avoid any direct damage. That said, a supernova is one of the most crazy and energetic things that can happen. When Betelgeuse finally explodes, it will give off a ton of energy, enough to briefly be brighter than all the stars together. This explosion will send out radiation, light, and particles at levels that are hard to imagine. The key is that because Betelgeuse is so far away, much of that energy, especially the harmful stuff like gamma rays, will weaken before it gets to us. But this is where things get a little tricky, and why Musk's warnings have gotten so much attention. Even though we're far enough away to avoid the worst, there are still some risks. One of the main worries is gamma rays. When a star goes supernova, it sends out a lot of radiation, including gamma rays, which are super-energized. If these gamma rays were to hit Earth with enough force, they could cause big problems. They might mess with our atmosphere in ways that could scramble satellites, GPS systems, and even power grids. Musk's talk about the explosion causing problems in places like New York makes more sense when you think about how much we depend on tech. If gamma rays stop our satellites or wreck our power, we could see widespread blackouts or communication failures. Before we freak out, it's important to remember that scientists generally think Betelgeuse is not close enough to give Earth a deadly dose of gamma rays. The star's distance means most of the harmful radiation will lose its power before it gets to us. Still, we're not totally safe. Even if the gamma rays don't kill us, they could still mess with our tech. Satellites circling Earth are especially weak against cosmic radiation, and if they were to fail, we could see big problems with our communication and navigation stuff. Considering how much of our daily lives depends on satellites, everything from GPS on our phones to weather and some money stuff, this is not a small risk. A fast burst of cosmic radiation could throw these systems off balance. Besides gamma rays, we also have to think about cosmic rays, which are energized particles sent out during a supernova. While most of these particles are pushed away by Earth's magnetic field, some might get through our atmosphere. This could mean higher radiation levels on the ground, possibly leading to slight but real side results. People who often go to high places, like people who are on the flight or people who travel to space, could see this radiation more, although the effects can't be caused at the moment. Radiation could also increase the risks of cancer and some other things involving your health that can happen for a very long time. It is also important to be aware that there are some people out there that don't believe if Betelgeuse's exploration will have a direct effect. I tried to make it sound like I was explaining it to a friend, using more casual language and avoiding the words on your do not use list. Let me know if you'd like any further adjustments. But here's where it gets a bit unnerving with Musk's predictions. He thinks the explosion could directly impact and potentially cause problems on Earth. He's saying Betelgeuse's blast could send out enough radiation and energy to mess up the US, specifically New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey. Musk thinks gamma rays and cosmic rays, super high energy radiation, could travel through space and hit our atmosphere, messing with satellites, power grids, and maybe even making people sick from all the radiation. Sounds like a disaster movie, but remember, Betelgeuse is about 640 light-years away. That's why most scientists don't think it'll be a direct problem for us. Still, it's sparking talk, especially with Musk making noise. So why is Betelgeuse such a big deal? It's in the Orion constellation, which has been a part of human stories and myths for ages. It's super bright and big, so you can spot it easily at night. For astronomers, it's a great thing to study, giving them a peek into the lives of stars. Unlike our sun, which will burn steadily for billions of years, Betelgeuse is a cosmic time bomb. Big stars like Betelgeuse live fast and die young, and it's reached the end, ready to blow. The question has always been when. In late 2019, things got weird. Betelgeuse, usually bright, started dimming a lot. It got so dark people could see it with their own eyes, which left scientists scratching their heads. Could this mean it was about to go supernova? There was a lot of talk until the star started getting brighter again in early 2020. Some scientists think these ups and downs are normal, while others think it means its death is closer than we thought. Let's be real, figuring out when a star will explode is tricky. These things rarely have a set date. Betelgeuse could blow tomorrow or keep burning for another 100,000 years. But Musk's recent claims suggest something's changed. Maybe there's new info or some observations we don't know about. Musk seems convinced this isn't just a random blip, but a sign we're about to see one of the universe's biggest events. So what can we expect in the next couple of weeks, according to Musk? First, we might see Betelgeuse keep dimming and brightening like crazy as it gets closer to kicking off. If Musk's right, we could see the explosion itself soon. If Betelgeuse goes supernova, it'll be visible at night for weeks, maybe even months, becoming one of the brightest things in the sky, maybe even brighter than the moon. While that would be mind-blowing, it could also cause issues. When a supernova goes off, it doesn't just send out light, it sends out tons of radiation. Some of that radiation could reach Earth, and while it's not likely to cause major damage, it's not impossible. Gamma rays are especially worrying because they're super high energy waves that can mess with the Earth's atmosphere and magnetic field. This could mess up satellite communications, GPS, and even power grids. A big surge of gamma radiation could temporarily knock out some of our tech. Musk's claim that the explosion could wreck parts of New York, Connecticut, and New Jersey is more dramatic than what most scientists think. But his words have grabbed people's attention. Despite the crazy implications, most experts think Betelgeuse's explosion will be spectacular and won't be a direct risk to Earth. It's far enough away that most of the radiation will fade before it gets here. Still, the idea is sparking discussion and might help us learn some things. For example, the chance to see a star go supernova in real time would be wild. That will provide a huge amount of data. This event could provide new data on the lives of stars. As the expected date for Betelgeuse's explosion comes closer, telescopes around the whole world will be pointed at the star. Scientists are hoping to collect more data, not just to check if Musk's right, but also to understand what's happening with Betelgeuse. This event could give us an irreplaceable chance to study how a supernova works and improve the stellar evolutions models. The explosion of Betelgeuse could also make increased knowledge of how supernovae add to the creation of elements and the birth of new stars. Okay, so let's talk about what it could mean for us if the stars explode. The first thing that it is important to know is that Betelgeuse is about 640 light-years away. It may seem far away, but the most scientists actually think that we will be just fine as far as any devastation. Think of how much energy it would involve if a sun exploded. Radiation, lights, and energy would release so much hard to describe. It could be a good thing that we are actually that far away because the blast would lose some of the deadly rays. Gamma rays are still something to think about, and you would have to hope that they are not strong enough to cause harm. If that was to happen, not sure of the consequences. The good thing is experts still agree that we are not doomed, just have to be aware that things can happen with gamma rays. Then there are the cosmic rays.